Hello students, I welcome you all to this YouTube channel Omkar English classes, and this is going to be the second part of the chapter of class 12th Vistas, the enemy. Let's have the explanation of this second part. Now he felt her hand on his arm and was aware of the pleasure it gave him. Even though they had been married years enough to have the two children, for they had not married heedlessly in America. They had finished their work at a school and had come home to Japan. And when his father had seen her, the marriage had been arranged in the old Japanese way. Although Sadao and Hana had talked everything over beforehand, they were perfectly happy. She laid her cheek against his arm. It was at this moment that both of them saw something black come out of the mist. It was a man. He was flung up out of the ocean. Flung, it seemed, to his feet by a breaker. He staggered a few steps, his body outlined against the mist, his arm above his head. Then the curled mist hid him again. "Who is that?" Hannah cried. She dropped Sadao's arm, and they both leaned over the railing of the veranda. Now they saw him again. The man was on his hands and knees crawling. Then they saw him fall on his face and lie there. "A fisherman, perhaps," Sadao said. Washed from his boat, he ran quickly down the steps, and behind him Hannah came, her wide sleeves flying. Let's start. Now he felt her hand on his arm. The moment they saw, so Hannah and Sadao loved each other even after having two children. After many years of marriage, they had not married in a haste in America. Rather, they returned to Japan, sought permission from their parents, and then got married in a traditional Japanese ceremony. They had discussed all the details before the wedding. They were happy with each other. Hannah rested her cheek against Sadao's arm with affection. That moment, they saw a figure appear out of the mist. It appeared black in color due to the mist in the air. The outline of the man's body was visible in the mist. He walked unsteadily with his arms above the head. It was an indication that he was a prisoner. The man walked a few steps and then disappeared in the mist. Upon seeing the figure, Hannah reacted by asking that, "Who was that?" She took her arm out of Sadao's arm, and both of them bent forward over the railing of the veranda to have a closer look at the man. They saw him again. He was crawling on his hands and knees. Then he fell on his face and kept lying there. Probably he had fainted. As the area had villages full of fishermen, Sadao said that probably it was a fisherman who had been washed off his boat. He ran to help him. Hannah followed him. The loose leaves of her howdy flew as he ran. As she ran. A mile or two away, on either side, there were fishing villages, but here was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. They saw when they came toward him that indeed it was so. The sand on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. "He is wounded," Sadao exclaimed. He made haste to the man, who lay motionless, his face in the sand. An old cap stuck to his head, soaked with sea water. He was in wet rags of garments. Sadao stopped Hannah at his side and turned the man's head. They saw the face. "A white man," Hannah whispered. Yes, it was a white man. Means it was an American. The wet cap fell away and there was his wet yellow hair, long, as through for many weeks it had not been cut. And upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. Now Sadao remembered the wound, and with his expert fingers he began to search for it. Blood flowed freshly at his touch. On the right side of the lower back, Sadao saw that a gun wound had been reopened. The flesh was blackened with powder. Sometime, not many days ago, the man had been shot and had not been tended. It was bad chance that the rock had struck the wound. So a mile or two away on either side there were fishing villages, and so this part of the coast was not inhabited as it had dangerous rocks on it. It There were fishing villages around, and rocks were dangerous also. As the rocks were pointed, the man could be badly injured, although he had managed to come through them. As the Japanese couple saw the man, they realized that he was badly injured. The sand on which he lay had blood stains on one side, which indicated that he was wounded. Sadao said that the man was wounded. He approached the man, who lay motionless with his face buried in the sand. An old cap hung on his head. It was soaked with the sea water. His dress was also wet and torn. Sadao turned the man's head. As they saw the face, Hannah spoke confidentially that he was a white man, an American. The injured man was an American. As his cap fell off, they saw his wet yellow-colored hair, which had not been cut for a long time. He was young, his face had such marks, which indicated that he had been tortured. He had a rough, unkempt, yellow-colored beard. As he had fainted, he did not know of the presence of Sadao and Hannah. Sadao was reminded that the man was wounded as he had seen blood stains on the sand. As he was a doctor, he moved his trained fingers around the man's back to search for the wound. He felt blood oozing out of a wound in the lower part of his back. It was a gunshot. The man had been injured a few days ago. He had not got any medical help to treat the wound, as he had himself used some black-colored powdery substance on it. The sharp rocks on the shore had pierced it, and so it was bleeding. Students, thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and share this channel and press the bell icon if not pressed. Students, one by one and slowly I will prepare important videos
on this YouTube channel to make you understand more and more about grammar. Further, I will also explain many types of grammar topics like passive voice, indirect speech, prepositions, modals, etc. You will find more and more. Thank you. Have a nice day.